James Syro. I run Media Day, a digital agency for churches, nonprofits, and schools in Philadelphia, PA. I run the day-to-day, and I help build the company, hire the team, motivate, train people, find new business, find new clients, and more broadly, find ways to, because I say clients in business in context of churches and nonprofits and people that have no profit in their title, and so that divide between the world they live in and the world as it currently is today is very wide. They live in different worlds. So my job is to straddle both worlds, and so speak in context of churches and in context of business, in context of nonprofits and in context of clients, and sort of bridge the two worlds again, and find ways to help people that need help. It's smart. It's the right thing to do, first of all, and it's also the smart thing to do because we're dealing with people that, if they have that divergence from the practical day-to-day world that everybody else lives in, they don't understand how the world works anymore. And so they're so behind the curve of what matters and what makes the world tick nowadays that they're rapidly losing, people coming in, people donating money, people volunteering time, anything that you can get from the world, you are losing if you're not a part of the world. And so there's an entire sector of our society that's completely sort of separate and failing in its mission. And because they have so little money and they're not cool entities to work for anymore. You don't wake up in the morning trying to go to work for a church. It's not cool anymore. Even if some people might, most people will not anymore. And they used to hundreds of years ago. So they used to be cool and fun and like the center of the communities, and now they're on the periphery of the community, and now the center is, the swag you wear or the job you might be doing, in some for-profit company. And so because they have that severe deficiency, and they are so lagging behind and they're failing and they're going bankrupt, they need help. They're looking to have people help them. And the people like us that are younger and are tech savvy and are looking to go work in the field, we go to work and build the next sneaker website, or then we help the next computer company with their social media. And we direct our energies towards the cool things of today. And nobody is going to help them. And it's smart to go help them, because if you're the only person, then as a purely as a business strategy, it's a very smart thing, because you're basically working in a market that nobody else is working in. You can basically claim the entire market if you can ramp up and you can scale people and you can build a business fast enough. You can really own the entire market space in a niche, which is very hard. Normally, it's very hard to own the entire market space. So it's a very smart business strategy. It's also the right thing to do, and it's really the best thing I can be doing right now. 10 years, Media Day is going to have hundreds of employees. It's going to own a building like this and have all the floors in it occupied by people like us. And I'll be building the next project. I'll be involved in education, most likely. I'll be involved more in the church, most likely. And I'll be building more of what's needed for the next generation, building more of what's needed. It's going to be 2028 by that point. I'll be looking to see what's coming in 2040. Always looking for the future and building towards that future.
So how do you do that? 90 divided by 115, right? So then it's okay, so it's like 20 divided 115.
The world is complicated, and the world is very, very at war. The world is at war with itself and with everything around it. And but at the same time, I think it's always been that. It's always been on the precipice of something horrible, and also on the horizon of something amazing. And it's always walking between those two ways to destroy itself, and it's always trying to find that narrow path. And I just want the world to come back to the same way of doing things. I think the kinds of things we talk about and the kinds of things that I'm passionate about are the kinds of things everyone is passionate about. You know, some people are interested in fashion and technology and gadgets, and that people have different perspectives on, and they have different levels of interest on. But everyone wants to know the meaning of life. Everyone wants to know what they should be doing, or what's true, what's good, what's beautiful. Like, what does that mean? What are those things? Where do you find it? How do you get there? How do you explain it? How do you become that? If you find something beautiful, but then you're not that, how do you get to that yourself? There are these perennial questions, right? And so I just think it's always going to matter.
Not a piece of meat.